Okay, Anne is making her first Blackstone breakfast over here. Let's get a shot of this. How's it going over here?
So far so good.
It smells like pancakes out here.
Good.
I guess that's better than it smelling like grilled chicken or burgers when you're cooking pancakes.
Yeah, that was sort of concerned, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
It's gonna taste like burgers.
Yeah. So everyone's looking forward to it except for Colin.
Yeah, the kids just wanted cereal.
Yeah, that's okay. They'll get what they get. Okay, wish us luck.
So we tried to follow this trail in the Badlands, right? And we cannot really see where it goes, but we're enjoying walking around in here a little bit. So the first time that we drove out of Badlands National Park, there was a bison standing near the
I think you got video of it.
exit/entrance sign.
Like a few.
And I said, he is obviously, they are like enticing him.
Good marketing.
Good marketing, yeah. Like, did we see another bison in this park anywhere?
No.
No. Did we drive through it all twice?
Yes.
We did.
It's cows.
Okay. Look, that's a lot. Okay, so we did not see any other bison anywhere in the park. And then we're like exiting and he's just like perched off by the sign. Okay, so we're approaching the exit sign tonight. And we're like, oh, what if that bison's still standing there? And we saw, what did we see?
There was probably like 5 or so.
There were like several down by the river. And you guys were like,
you couldn't really see unless you were coming from our way.
right. And I said, it's because they're taking turns. So like they stand there by the river and then one has to go up and stand by the sign. And then they take shifts, right? Which is reasonable. And sure enough, what do we see? Bison by the exit sign.
Not by the exit sign.
Rubbing his back up and scratching himself on the National Park arrowhead sign. Outstanding. Good work, Badlands National Park. We like your training of the buffalo. We like what you're doing here. The tourists are really gonna enjoy that.
It's a good lasting, like a good way to make a good lasting memory.
Okay. We have a birthday in the family today.
What?
Me.
Hey,
Colin
boy. Yeah, boy.
Is turning 9 years old. Yay, Colin!
Yay!
Yay.
So we are going to the Alpine Inn for steak dinner for Colin's birthday.
Yep.
Highly recommended. What do they refer to themselves as?
European fine dining.
There you go. South Dakota's European fine dining for Mr. Colin and his 9th birthday. How was your birthday steak?
It was good, but not as good as the one at Disney.
Okay. Wine Bar George has the #1 steak, and Alpine Inn in Hills City, South Dakota has #2?
Yeah, #2.
Okay, who has better dessert?
Pretty.
You've never had dessert at Wine Bar George? That was a trick question.
I know. That's what I was
How's
thinking
the
about
dessert though
yesterday.
at Alpine
It
Inn?
was good. We had, what was it called again?
Chocolate Tower.
Oh yeah, chocolate tower and a chocolate cake, which had like melted chocolate in the chocolate cake at the chocolate cake, and there was ice cream with it. And the best sweet probably was the chocolate tower because it had like brownie chunks and whipped
It
cream.
had like a little bit of everything, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
It was
So,
so good.
we're gonna go back and open a couple presents at the camper
Yes.
and sing happy birthday.
Yeah.
But so far, how has your 9th birthday been?
Amazing.
We just waited for many bison to cross the street. And then we turned around and came over the hill, and we see this is the number of bison that just crossed the street in front of us. See their herd here. Evie, you gotta stay in. We are here in Medora, North Dakota to see Theodore Roosevelt National Park tomorrow. And it was a terrible, stressful travel day. But I'm standing here now, looking out at this sunset that is happening over these, I don't know, bluffs of the national park, essentially. And it is gorgeous. That is our vantage point tonight in Medora, North Dakota. Beautiful. I wonder what this like monument is here.
I can tell you about it.
Oh, okay.
It is the, okay, so when Teddy Roosevelt was here,
Yeah.
he opened up a beef packing plant with this French guy, Morris. I can't remember his first name.
Okay.
That's the site of it. But
Teddy Roosevelt's beef packing
Yes.
plant? Okay.
so they decided that, so you saw the train tracks,
Yeah.
they decided that it would be more cost efficient to slaughter and harvest the cows here on location where they're raised rather than ship them live to Chicago to harvest. And the problem with it didn't go well.
Oh.
The problem is that it costs more to keep the train cars cold.
Oh, with the
raw meat
because you
than
can
with
ship
the cow.
live
Yeah,
cattle and you just
exactly.
need to give them some food.
So they had this whole harvesting plant here. That's why this city actually exists.
We found a cabin. right there.
Yeah.
Apparently it has a house number.
And why is it here?
Because it was Theodore Roosevelt's old house when he was here. He just liked being close to nature.
Okay, good.
Because he spent most of his life in New York.
Yeah. All right, guys, should we go look?
There they are, guys. See them up there?
Amazing.
We're on the Painted Canyon hike at Teddy Roosevelt National Park. And we just keep going down, down, down on these stairs. I think the up is going to be a bit of a doozy.
Oh, well, I'm just really high up. I'm going with that.
What do you think of? A little bit hard? No. I don't see any bison, but I saw those prints of bison for sure. Okay, Tim says we have a good view up here of the bison feet.
It's obviously very muddy at some point.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a good one. All right. We're to the up part. I think
110.
We're to the up. Boys, you back there?
Yep.
How are we
Yeah, back
doing?
here.
I'm doing over.
Okay. We are here to share our thoughts on Teddy Roosevelt National Park because in the vlog we didn't talk about it.
No.
And people want to know because a lot of people have not been there. It's not like Yellowstone where everyone's been. Everyone keeps asking us like, oh my gosh, you've been there? Tell us about it. So, first of all, it's unusual because it's divided into 3 separate units which are not connected to each other. So it's the North Unit and South Unit and the, what's it called? The Elkhorn Ranch Unit. Which the Elkhorn Ranch Unit is really only accessible by like 4x4 vehicle. It's where you could see, well, not even the remains of Teddy Roosevelt's.
The remnants of the foundation of Teddy Roosevelt's cabin from when he visited the area. Right.
And other things. There's a few like geological anomalies if you have your 4x4 vehicle. The North Unit and the South Unit are like 60 miles away apart from each other on the highway. So they are not connected to each other. You could go to one, it has its own visitor center, or you could go to the other one. We went to the South Unit because that was close to where we were staying and that was all we had time to do. So we went. It's in the entrance is in the town of Medora.
The main entrance.
The main entrance where like the sign and all that stuff. We went in there. We went in the visitor center, which I vlogged. The kids got their junior ranger book and stamped passports and all that stuff. Park movie?
Yep.
Park movie. And then behind that is a Teddy Roosevelt cabin.
That is his cabin that they moved to that location.
Okay. That you can like walk through.
Super tiny.
Yeah.
He lived there with like himself and like 2 or 3, I don't know what he called them, helpers.
Tim read the whole biography. Was he president then?
No.
Okay.
He was like 27 years old.
Okay.
Very interesting area with, there's a lot of history involving Teddy Roosevelt in the area. There's a lot of like historical remnants, historical artifacts, historical locations that kind of are within like in the town, just outside the town, part of the national park. So I read the biography this year.
In the vlog, you told us all about the meatpacking plant.
The meatpacking, yeah, that was very interesting. And the Frenchman, I can't remember his name right now.
I liked it. I think it's in the vlog.
But Medora is his wife's name, and they named the town after her.
You didn't tell us that in the clip.
Yeah.
See, look. So we toured the little cabin. We went on a tiny little hike. That is not a hike because whatever your definition of hike is, this was a turn off the road that had a 0.4 mile trail. Yes.
I will say that whatever your definition of hike is, this had one of the best payoffs of any walk, hike, stroll I've done on this trip. It is the Wind Canyon overlook. Is that what it's overlook? And it like you walk this loop and you go down a little bit, you go up, and you walk along the rim of this canyon, and it's small compared to other canyons we've been to at this point, but you overlook this horseshoe bend of the river. What river is it? It's the Little Missouri River. And it is the most picturesque, beautiful, peaceful, calming, inspiring points. Like we stood there, sat there, I don't know, for maybe like 20 minutes with like a family of 5. That's like incredible. I would have sat there for another hour or 2 hours just staring at what was happening. The wind was blowing. It was,
the video is like not anything. So I'm gonna like I have a lot of photos, so I'm just gonna be like overlaying them over like us here, because I tried to take like photos because it was just, but it doesn't come across. It never does. Could have stayed there forever.
That view alone is worth the trip, and having read the book, knowing how Teddy Roosevelt viewed this area of the country, like at that moment you can understand what he was seeing and what made that place so special.
There you go. Agreed. We saw the wild horses.
Yeah, so we drove the main road.
Loop or whatever.
Yeah, except it's not a loop because there was construction going on. So like it turned out it was a 15 mile out and back, which was fine. But yeah, we saw horses, wild horses. We saw prairie dogs. We saw some bison. Not a lot. Which when we've told people we've gone, they're like, "Oh, you saw all the bison," and we're like, "Well, I mean, we saw like a random 3."
Yeah.
It wasn't like we saw a herd of bison, which apparently there is a large herd of bison there. We just didn't see it.
But the horses were supposed to be like something like maybe
you might see
if you looked on the cliffs, and
we saw them all the time. Yeah.
So then we went back onto the interstate.
Yeah, this is weird.
Drove 6 miles down the road and went to another visitor center, which was closed.
The South Unit has 2 visitor centers. The main one, which is where we started our day, and there's a second visitor center called the Painted Canyon Visitor Center, which doubles as a visitor center and a rest stop for the interstate. And so there's not an
parking lot.
Yeah, there's not an entrance fee for this one. You just kind of drive up, park your car, and it's like just a rest stop, and it also is part of the national park. So we did a hike there, the painted canyon loop, right? Is that what it was called?
Where we kind of walked down in the canyon.
Down into the canyon, and
saw some.
We also saw deer as well.
And yes, yeah. And the bison footprints.
Bison footprints, which was fun.
The whole topography is like Badlands if it rained there more.
Yes.
So it's Badlands with some greenery. So that hike in particular, we're like in the trees and in the brush.
Yeah.
As opposed to, but the actual ground is very much similar to the Badlands.
Yeah.
Like it's very like dry, crusty.
I thought it was better than the Badlands because it had everything the Badlands had, plus
like a beautiful river going through it and some wildlife. Yes. I think we need to answer the question, do you recommend someone go to Theodore Roosevelt National Park?
Yes and no. I recommend you make it a must detour.
If you're close enough, which you won't be.
So
because there's nothing
Well,
there.
okay, so we did a detour going from Custer State Park to Yellowstone, and we added on a 4-hour drive north to Teddy Roosevelt. That was 100% worth it. The problem with making it a destination is it's small. It's a 1 to 2 day experience, and it's not worth planning a week-long vacation out to North Dakota to see. Now, like I said,
there's nothing else to do while you're there.
If you're going to Custer State Park and you add it on, yes, do that.
Yeah.
The other thing we didn't talk about in regards to North Dakota was the plague of locusts that descended upon that part of the country.
They have a lot of grasshoppers there.
I've never seen so many grasshoppers in my life.
Yeah.
It was insane. There were so many you would walk and 50 would jump with each step. Once again, it is a very cool place. It's a special place. I don't recommend it as a destination. I recommend it as a must detour. So if you're anywhere within a 4-hour radius of there, I recommend detouring to see it.
There's something very special about being there. Everyone who's there is, a lot of people who are there seem to be on a quest to go to all 50 states, and North Dakota's like their second to last state, right?
Yeah.
Or all the national parks or whatever. Like, I'm glad we went.
Yeah.
If you have an opportunity, go.
And that's Teddy Roosevelt National Park from Ann and Tim. Because you wanted it.
Maybe. Or you skipped it because it was too long.